Hello everyone! In the second half of patch Luna 5, Skirk as well as their specialized support Escoffier are having their first rerun banners. I don't usually do videos related to reruns, but with how meta impactful both of these characters have been, I wanted to give my updated thoughts and analysis on specifically Skirk, as a lot of new info has been discovered since her release. Things like builds and teams haven't really changed for her that much, so this video isn't going to be your typical updated general guide, since I think a lot of my explanations in my pre-release video are still pretty relevant. Instead, this video will mainly be a high-level analysis on how strong Skirk, and by extension Escoffier, has been in the meta, while also discussing the new Skirk optimizations from new combos that have been found after post-release testing, as well as analyzing how valuable of a meta pull Skirk may be in the future. Nodcry has a ton of hype pullable characters in the roster, so it's difficult to pull everything you want, as not everyone has the luxury to spend money on the game. But for those of you that do have this luxury, why not save some money while you're at it? And you can do this easily with the sponsor of this video, LD Shop. LD Shop works with suppliers who partner directly with HOYOverse to be able to provide in-game items for Genshin safely, reliably, and at a discounted price, allowing you to save up to 30% off your purchases. And all you have to do is select what you want to buy, whether it's Genesis crystals including the first time top-up bonus or a Welkin, enter your server and UID, or friends info if you want to give a gift, and in just a few minutes, whatever you purchase will be received in-game. Quick, simple, and easy. And if you register using my link, which will be in the description and pinned comment below, you'll receive a 15% and 5% off coupon, which can save you a maximum of $30, giving you even more discounts. On top of that, if you spend over $80 in a month using LD Shop, you'll earn a free Welkin as well. So if you were thinking about or were planning to spend on Genshin already, save some money while you're at it by using LD Shop. As of now, Skirk is the strongest cryo DPS in the game who plays around specifically freeze. Her best builds and teams haven't really changed much since her release, but the one big thing about Skirk that has changed a lot after post-release testing is her optimal attack combos. Compared to pre-release TC, Skirk's optimal damage potential has only gotten better as we've learned more on how to optimize her normal attack combos, which is the main source of her damage. One of the main reasons Skirk is able to deal more damage with optimal combos is through cancelling her normal attack animations, allowing Skirk to use more normal attacks. There are a few key animation cancels on Skirk that make up the majority of all her best combos. First are her N5 cancels. 5 normal attacks in a row on Skirk constitutes her full normal attack chain, which ends in a big slash. You can cancel this animation to start your next normal attacks quicker with either a dash at the end of this final attack or using her special burst, which absorbs nearby void rifts, denoted as N5D or N5Q respectively. Next are her N2 cancels. You can simply do 2 normal attacks on Skirk, then do a dash or use a special burst to animation cancel, then do another set of normal attacks like another N2 for instance. This is denoted as N2D or N2Q respectively. In a lot of Skirk's optimal combos, 2 N2Ds are typically used in succession before performing another attack string, like an N5 to stall for the game's dash cooldown. When Skirk needs to use a charge attack in the middle of her on-field duration to absorb more void rifts, she generally does it after an N2 as it comes out faster and smoother. So a combo will do N2C or N2CD, dash cancelling after the charge attack if the particular combo allows for it. Otherwise, you just do N2C, no dash cancel. Finally, Skirk has walk cancels for her N3, denoted as N3W. After Skirk's third normal attack where she does a little flip, you can tap the forward movement key a couple of times, and once she touches the ground again or slightly moves forward, you can normal attack on Skirk again, restarting her normal attack string from the beginning rather than Skirk doing her 4th and 5th normal attack after the N3. Skirk combos generally either use N3 walk cancels or N5 cancels in a given combo. Learning how to do each individual component of Skirk's normal attack combos is key in order to combine them all together in a proper rotation. I did make a video covering some of these cancels, but it's not updated with some of the more recent findings. I do think that 7 Pleases videos on Skirk combos can be quite helpful on how to do these more updated cancels like N2D and N3 walk cancel. The one tip I do want to explicitly mention here is that when you are doing any of Skirk's dash cancels, you want to let go of all of your movement keys when doing so. If you're holding down the forward key for example while doing Skirk dash cancels, they will not be performed as quickly. But aside from performing Skirk's actual combos, there are 2 other external factors that greatly affect your ability to perform Skirk's best combos. First is how fast you input Skirk's normal attacks. No matter the platform you're playing Genshin on, if you can press Skirk's normal attacks button faster, whether by spam clicking your mouse as fast as you can on PC or tapping your phone screen on mobile, Skirk will attack faster and it will be easier for you to fit all of Skirk's normal attacks in her best combos. If you're clicking a bit slowly, then you're unlikely to do all of her normal attacks in the optimal combos. FPS is also also a major factor. If you're playing Genshin on higher FPS, it will be easier for you to achieve more Skirk normal attacks, though on PC at least, the game is currently capped at 60 FPS. Now it is possible to surpass the boundaries of these two factors to perform even better Skirk combos that have more normal attacks. For example, you can bound your scroll wheel on your mouse to the normal attack button so that when you scroll on your mouse, in game, you will press the normal attack button a lot very quickly, making Skirk do her attacks a lot quicker. In a similar fashion, installing a macro or turbo clicker on PC can also allow you to press normal attack a lot and quickly. And in terms of FPS, there are external mods that can allow you to play Genshin above the normal 60 FPS cap on your PC. Utilizing such external programs does allow Skirk to do even better combos for damage. However, keep in mind that using external programs to play Genshin is technically against the official terms of service, so if you want to try them yourself, you've been warned. There are a lot of Skirk combo variations, so it can get very confusing to know which ones are which ones are good, and how good they perform in comparison with the others. Very fortunately though, theory crafter Shaft, with the help of many other theory crafters in the J-Stern mains community, recently made an entire Excel sheet detailing a bunch of different Skirk combos. As of currently, there are 25 different Skirk combos ranked based on their total motion value, including combos such as just normal attack spam, the ones with walk cancels, and the ones that are only doable with external programs, just to name a few. And there are different tables or rankings for whether you do Skirk's nuke burst first or not, as well as considering if your Skirk is C1 or C2. C6 Skirk isn't on this Excel sheet yet and may be added in the future, but I will put a link below to a video on a potential optimal C6 Skirk combo. On the first page of the sheet, there are a bunch of important notes that you should read first to understand how to properly read the sheet and its nuances, and then below the notes are the combos that were listed on the table but in their extended notation, even detailing the number of void rifts that Skirk absorbs. So for a particular combo, you can see exactly the order of inputs that are performed that make up the combo, which can help you practice exactly how to do a particular combo. There are also video examples included as a reference on how the combo should look when executed correctly. The combos utilizing external programs are also listed down here with examples. The one important note that I do want to emphasize about this sheet is that the combo tables here just compare total motion value, which is the total attack multiplier of every attack you get on Skirk in a combo. And while this does allow for a fairly accurate comparison, because of factors like buff uptime, which affects which of Skirk's attacks do more damage than others, the ranking of the combos may not necessarily be indicative of the ranking of actual damage you get in practice. For instance, a combo that is ranked number 12 on the table may not necessarily always provide you more damage for your particular Skirk team than a combo that is ranked number 14. Now, while there are a ton of combos to choose from, ultimately the best combo is what you yourself are comfortable doing. Because spamming normal attacks is a key factor, optimizing Skirk combos can actually be physically straining on your hands, so intense optimization may not be for everyone. In addition, some people may find certain animation cancels easier to do than others. For instance, personally, I was originally doing this 23rd rank combo, which is what my first Skirk combo video covered, but I've been recently practicing this 10 and 2, 2 and 5 one that's rank 15 on the table because it's much better for damage than what I was previously doing, and it doesn't contain any walk cancels, and I haven't really learned how to do them yet. If I did learn how to do walk cancels and found them easier to perform, I would do this 12th rank one, or if I was really sweaty, attempt the sim combo. But of course, try different combos yourself on the dummy and see which one you like best and prefer. Shaft put a lot of hard work into this sheet as well as the other theory crafters who worked on this with him, so a huge shout out and props to them. This sheet is extremely detailed, peer reviewed for accuracy and eye-opening, so if you are interested in Skirk optimization, I highly suggest checking it out and reading all the notes and specifics. When taking into account Skirk's improved damage with combo optimization, how did she fare as a DPS within Genshin's current endgame meta? Now, when evaluating characters in the meta, a lot of people just cite DPS calcs such as ones done at KQM standard. For example, people will say Skirk does 120 to 130k DPS, but Mawika, Nefer, Zibai, and Flins can do 140 to 160k DPS. Then the conclusion made here is that Skirk is the 5th best DPS in the game after the Nodcrag character releases. Now, even if these calcs are technically correct at KQM standard, I personally am never a fan of using DPS calcs like this to evaluate the meta, because when you evaluate Genshin's meta, you have to consider the context of the endgame content you're playing the characters in, where the meta is actually the most relevant. To me, this content is Stygian Onslaught. Fearless difficulty 5 is what I think most people that want to push themselves aim for as their end goal, as it is more realistic, though I will take a little bit into consideration Dire difficulty 6, which has an even stricter metagame. Now obviously, in this game mode, you can only use the one Columbina that exists in one of your teams, so you can't play play all of the 3 lunar DPS's best in slot teams at the same time, which would alter the theoretical DPS ranking. But more importantly, if we look at how useful Skirk was against each patch's Stygian lineup, we can see that she was extremely valuable and reliable, just behind Malwika in terms of how many bosses she could clear. In the first patch of Stygian, patch 5.7, which is when Skirk was released, she was obviously best against her shield boss, the Secret Source Automaton. Next patch, 5.8, she was one of the best options against the turtle since it was able to be frozen, and she was an option for Papilla, as C0R0 Skirk was able to clear even dire Papilla, though obviously with very optimized builds and combos. For patch Luna 1, dire difficulty wise, I would say it was much more difficult for Skirk for her to clear the Ion Blight Drake and the Shock Trooper, but she was technically still able to brute force both of them, and for fearless difficulty, Skirk could definitely do both of these bosses much easier. Luna 2 is a similar story in my opinion, as for dire difficulty, brute forcing Sigurd required vertical investment into Skirk's teams, but at least for Hera, C0R0 Skirk was able to clear. But of course, at fearless difficulty, she clears fine. For patch Luna 3, she was very good against the Baptist and the experimental field generator at dire difficulty. For Luna 4, Skirk can technically brute force all 3 bosses, though she was surprisingly very good against the Pyro Crab, as I used her to clear the crab at dire difficulty. For Luna 5, we have the Secret Source Automaton as her shield boss again, and looking ahead to Luna 6, both Papilla and Hera are returning, which she has proven to clear already. So in pretty much every Stygian onslaught lineup, Skirk is able to clear a ton of these bosses at even a baseline investment. And even at dire difficulty, she has a ton of bosses where she's one of the best DPS options to clear. And with vertical investment, she's able to brute force a ton of bosses much easier. A large part of her usefulness comes in her team composition. Her best team consists of Farina, Escaffier, and a Hydro or Cryo support flex. These supports aren't needed in the other top meta DPS's best teams. Malwika Melt only really takes it lolly, as the scenario where you want to use Escaffier 2 for her double crown melt team is generally when you don't have Skirk and you want to clear the Secret Source Automaton with Malwika. Malwika Overload doesn't take Skirk supports, and none of the lunar DPS's take any of Skirk supports in their best teams either. So Skirk has cemented herself as a top meta DPS, being one of the best Stygian teams to use alongside a Malwika team and a lunar DPS team with Columbina. Now the big question is whether or not Skirk, and by extension Escaffier, is still worth pulling for and investing in. If you already have the premium Skirk team and are interested in making it stronger, early vertical investment like C2R1 Skirk or C1R1 Escaffier isn't that bad of an idea because of how useful Skirk has been against many Stygian bosses. With vertical investment, she can easily continue to brute force future bosses and still not take many valuable supports away from the other top meta DPSs. To use this current rerun banner as an example, the weapon banner has both Skirk and Escaffier's signature weapons, and if you don't have either weapon and are looking to further invest into the Skirk team, pulling on the weapon banner isn't a bad idea as both of these weapons are very strong. Now in terms of whether you should pull the characters if you don't have them in your roster already, Escaffier's niche as a specialized free support is in my opinion unlikely to be replaced by a newer character. She just provides so much to freeze teams with her off-field damage, cryo application, res shred, and healing, so if you are interested in a support that greatly empowers this specific archetype, such as if you're a Skirk player that doesn't have Escaffier yet, then she can be a valuable pull even when considering the future. But for Skirk, my opinion is a little different. Because of the power creep in the game, I'm generally hesitant in recommending people to pull on reruns for characters they don't have, other than if they really like the character. But in terms of meta, I do worry that freshly investing into a Skirk team with Snezhnaya's release on the way isn't the best idea. Not only will there almost certainly be new team archetypes that have a higher damage ceiling, but also the Cryo Archon will likely be playable as well. Obviously, we know nothing about what she will do, but I think it's safe to assume that she's going to be Cryo, and if she ends up being a DPS that works well in freeze teams, she can easily just be a better Cryo DPS than Skirk in her freeze niche at baseline investment, just like how Malwika pretty much overshadows Arlecchino as a Pyro DPS. Ultimately, Skirk has proven to be a valuable top meta DPS for Genshin's hardest endgame content and will likely continue to be in the near future, especially with vertical investment. But if you don't have her already, it might be better to hold off and wait for the next upcoming characters with the release of Snezhnaya. I hope this updated analysis on Skirk was helpful to you all. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment, like the video, or sub to the channel if you enjoyed, and with that, I hope you all have a wonderful day.